Over the last 2 weeks, Ryan Garcia has been trending all over the media for his strange behavior. His claims made while on a Twitter Space chat with Andrew Tate had people shocked and wondering what exactly Ryan was talking about. Was he really taken to the Bohemian Grove and witnessed a satanic ritual like he claimed? Or was he just trolling in order to build up hype for his next fight? The world was watching Ryan wondering if he was losing his mind or telling the truth. Some people believe the young boxing star's claims and see him as someone who is risking it all to expose the elite, while others feel that he is just building up hype the wrong way. Well, what people aren't realizing is that the truth falls somewhere in the middle of all of this, and I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome to The Truth Is, where I post new videos every other day exposing the truth. In today's episode, we will be talking about the Ryan Garcia situation again, as ever since the last video I made on him, I have been keeping my eyes on him and doing more research, and recently what I found changes everything to me. Let's get right into it. Over the last few days, Ryan has had all eyes on him, and it's not because of a boxing match. If you saw my last video on Ryan, then you would know that he recently made some explosive claims about being taken to the Bohemian Grove and witnessing some rituals on children. If you're one of the few people that didn't hear about this yet, make sure you watch my last video on Ryan Garcia first, and then come back to this one, as I don't want to repeat what I said in the last video in this one. For the last several years of my life, I've spent basically night and day studying how the occult works. I'm not looking into conspiracy theories and nonsense, but actually reading and learning the facts about masonry and the occult's control over our world. I have made over 500 videos revealing this information I have learned, and if you have watched this channel for the last 3 years, you know that I have revealed more than enough evidence to prove our world is definitely being ran by Freemason occultists. What Ryan claimed during the Twitter Space conversation between him and Andrew Tate, while it may have contained some truth, wasn't at all what it seems. As much as it appears that Ryan is exposing the truth and is going through some sort of battle with the elite, that is not at all what is going on. If you want to see an example of what happens to people who really expose the truth, we have to look at the case of former actor Isaac Cappy. Isaac Cappy was an upcoming Hollywood actor who played small roles in movies like Thor, Beer Fest, and Terminator Salvation. He was in Hollywood for several years and acted in plenty of movies and became friends with many of those in Hollywood. Isaac, while in Hollywood, saw what really happens in the industry, and it scared him. He saw what Hollywood was secretly about, and he didn't like it at all. He started exposing the industry and calling out people by name, calling out Seth Green, the producer of Robot Chicken and one of the voice actors on Family Guy. Isaac alleged that Seth Green wasn't at all who he seemed to be, but a P-word who was doing some sick stuff in his very own home. I obviously can't go deeper into this on YouTube, but I did make a Patreon exclusive video on Isaac Cappy that's available on Patreon for my members. After Cappy started exposing Hollywood, it wasn't long before he quote-unquote ended it all. This is very strange since days before he did this, he told the world he would never take himself out. Isaac was calling out real names like Tom Hanks and a lot of others in Hollywood for being P-words, and days later they took him out. The difference between Isaac and Ryan's story is that Isaac actually named names, but Garcia made what seemed to be some very vague claims. Isaac Cappy is no longer with us as they took him out for exposing the sick monsters of our world, while Ryan Garcia is still alive and well promoting his upcoming boxing match. Explain to me how this makes any sense. How is Ryan Garcia going to be exposing the elite while promoting a boxing match that's put on by the very elite? If Ryan truly saw what he saw and is going to expose names involved, he would have the same exact ending as Isaac Cappy. This proves that what Ryan is saying is what they're allowing him to say. This is why he is not presenting the full truth or revealing names of the people that actually did this to him. What Ryan said, no one who watches this channel and has their eyes open didn't already know. I exposed the Bohemian Grove 2 years back now, and there was already plenty of information available online about the Bohemian Grove long before my video. The only people who didn't know about the Bohemian Grove were those who didn't care to look into the truth. What Ryan was saying wasn't new information, but was already out there. The only thing that made what he said shocking was that he claimed that he was taken to the Bohemian Grove and was forced to watch rituals go down. He claimed to have proof of this, but didn't name any names or show any proof at any moment. Ryan claims he was tied up, but managed to escape the elite, and now he claims the all-powerful elite are after him, but then tells the world he will be at a boxing match funded by the elite on 420. We know the Freemasons are the ones truly pulling the strings. We didn't hear him call out the Freemasons once. None of this seemed legit to me, and it made me take a deeper look into Ryan Garcia, and what I found to me proves he is a Masonic puppet. And what he is doing right now is deceiving the world and discrediting the truth movement. If we look into Garcia's life and career, there's a lot of red flags. Ryan Garcia started boxing when he was 7, being trained by his father Henry Garcia. Henry himself was a former boxer who early in his career left the sport behind, claiming he didn't want to deal with the risk of the industry. He then trained his son to become one of the best boxers in the sport. This means Ryan was already born into this industry, which made it easy for him to be planted in the sport. Ryan went professional back in 2016 when he was only 17 years old, when he signed to the former boxing legend Oscar De La Hoya's company, Golden Boy Promotion. Not long after signing with Oscar, Ryan started having some of the biggest fights in recent boxing history. Now, what this information tells us is very important, especially the fact that he was signed to Oscar. Oscar is 100% a Masonic puppet. Back in the 2000s, pictures of Oscar started to circulate online, showing him dressed in women's fishnet lingerie. At first, he came out denying the photos were real, but after some time, he admitted it was him. Years later, it was revealed by WAC 100 that he was trying to extort Oscar for $1 million to keep a video of him from coming out that showed him dressed in women's clothing doing compromising things. Oscar would end up paying WAC 100 only $850,000 out of the $1 million he wanted, and WAC 100 would end up leaking the tape. These tapes and photos of Oscar was him going through a Masonic hazing ritual. What's interesting is that Isaac Cappy, the man who passed away for exposing the industry, revealed that when the elite initiates someone in, they filmed them doing compromising things in order to blackmail them if they need to. This is exactly what they had on Oscar, and somehow the footage ended up in the hands of WAC 100. Oscar signed Ryan when he was only 17 years old. Oscar chose Ryan for a reason, and he definitely took the same oath as Oscar. In this video, we can find Oscar talking about Ryan's recent remarks, and we can see him doing some interesting hand gestures.
I've been in touch with Ryan Garcia. I spoke to him yesterday. I literally did. Spoke to him yesterday. We were on the video chat, whatever. FaceTime. Yeah, we're FaceTiming each other, and he looks good. He looks good. He looks ready. I'm telling you. Look.
He doesn't sound good. The fans are really concerned.
Well, I mean, look. I all I know is that he left to camp yesterday, and he's with Derek James, and he's with his whole team, and one thing about Ryan is that he's been training, and there's about 6 to 7 weeks left to train and be ready for this fight, April 20th. That's perfect timing. Look, in my history, when I was fighting, I needed 5 to 6 weeks in camp. It's perfect timing. There's nothing that it's all good. We will see Ryan Garcia up in the ring on April 20th.
Do you think it was like the media tour that was giving him maybe a little bit too much, stress, and now that he's back with Derek, back in Texas, it's all like smooth sailing from now? Do you feel like?
You'll have to ask him. You'll have to ask him. You'll have to ask him.
You think he went too deep in the rabbit hole, the YouTube rabbit hole?
Look, I mean, I'm not somebody to speak for Ryan.
As you heard for yourself, Oscar claims this entire time Ryan has been training for this fight and that he is good to box. At a point while he was saying this, we can see him doing a Masonic hand gesture right when Ryan's name is mentioned. It's important to note that most Freemasons claim to be Christians. It's how they hide themselves. Ryan has recently gotten an interesting tattoo on his hand of an eye, which we already know is a reference to the Masonic all-seeing eye, or the Eye of Horus. Not only did he get this eye tattooed, but he placed it specifically on his hand where he had a serpent leading to it. The serpent is an obvious representation of Lucifer. This tattoo represents the serpent leading to enlightenment, and it is obviously an occult reference. Ryan goes on to explain why he got this tattoo in a recent live that we will be analyzing in a little bit. On top of this, I have noticed Ryan doing Masonic hand gestures during an interview, and again during this recent live stream he did, quote-unquote, exposing the truth. This is the same hand gesture Oscar made when he was talking about Ryan, and interestingly enough, it's the same hand gesture Andrew Tate made when he got arrested. We must remember the Freemasons communicate through hand gestures and secret symbols, and this is a symbol of the Eye of Horus. Ain't it a coincidence that Ryan hit up Andrew Tate to tell him this important information? Another person who was showing the same hand symbol as him? Now, let's think about everything we learned. Ryan Garcia got signed by Oscar, who we know is a Masonic puppet, when he was only 17. They then made him a massive boxing star, and now we can see him doing Masonic hand gestures during interviews while having occult tattoos on himself as well. Now, when we look at the beginning of all this, when Ryan started acting out right after the press conference for his upcoming fight, we find some interesting information. Something that I missed, which was massively important, was how Ryan arrived at his press conference for the fight. Ryan arrived riding a white horse wearing all white. Those of you who have been keeping up with my content over the last few months should remember me talking about all the Four Horsemen imagery being used by Hollywood as of recently. Ryan just so happens to be riding the white horse, which is the horse that symbolizes the Antichrist. This is very important as it explains everything that is happening. Ryan came riding the white horse, which represents the Antichrist, meaning he is representing the Antichrist. The spirit of the Antichrist has been being shown to us for the last few years. We saw Kendrick showing the Antichrist imagery with his entire last album. We also saw Lil Nas X showing the same Antichrist imagery recently with his J Christ video. Same thing with the baby who showed himself on the cross. Kendrick specifically wore the crown of thorns, just like Ryan wore in this video he made after Andrew Tate's conversation. In this video, where he can be seen wearing the crown of thorns, he tells the world he would only be talking about boxing from now on.
I return back to Instagram. Now, over these past couple of days, you guys have seen some pretty intense things. I understand what they are and I understand what they look like. But I'm coming back to announce I'm not going to speak on any other topic other than boxing, sports, and my fight. That's the only thing I'm going to be talking about. And I'm training for this fight. I want everybody to know this fight's still on. 420, 5 weeks of super focus. I have PBD helping me in this camp and many other warriors. So I thank you guys for the support, and I'll see you guys on 420.
The entire time he is wearing the crown of thorns, he is mocking Jesus, showing that he is representing himself as the Antichrist. It's the reason why he was on the white horse. In the Bible, it speaks about the Antichrist and how during the end times he would deceive the masses. The Bible said, "For such men are false apostles, deceitful workmen, disguising themselves as apostles of Christ. And no wonder, for even Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. So it is no surprise if his servants also disguise themselves as servants of righteousness. Their end will correspond to their deeds." Ryan and many others like Kanye have disguised themselves as servants of righteousness, but in reality, they are really serving the serpent. Ryan was on the white horse before this all happened because he was symbolically announcing he was to represent the Antichrist, and what he's doing now is deceiving God's people. This is why we see him wearing the crown of thorns. He is representing himself as the Antichrist. By him quote-unquote exposing the truth, he is trying to gain the trust of God's most loyal people in order to take advantage of them. We must not allow that and show them we will not be deceived. Recently, Ryan went back on live and provided people with more information on everything. In the video, he claims multiple times they want him to stop, but that he won't, even though he doesn't mention who wants him to stop. He talks about pretty much well-known facts about missing children, and he then goes on to dedicate his match to bringing awareness to kids.
Not mine. Okay, so with that being said, I'm not doing this for clout. I'm not doing this for anything. This does nothing for my fight. This is just me trying to give the facts and the truth of what I've seen throughout the years. And during this point and this time, there's a lot of eyes on me, and I'm bringing awareness for the kids, the little kids that are hurting. I know you guys seen that video. I'm not even gonna say the name, but you know what I'm talking about. It starts with a J. And I'm trying to be as calm as I can. Trust me, I'm trying to be as calm as I can, and I'm trying to be as safe as I can, but there will be a time. My last fight was for my son Henry. I wanted to fight for him, and that's what I gave the fight to. This time, it's for the children around the world. Now, those are the 3 facts. And I already know about this. I'm gonna go a little deep. No, don't worry. I'm not gonna go into too deep stuff because at the end of the day, I got a lot of people telling me not to do this. A lot of people. You gotta understand the pressure I have. A lot of people are asking, can you guys stop trying to join the live, please? I'm trying to speak facts right now.
But let them know you're trying to leverage your platform.
And of course I'm trying to leverage my platform.
For what?
For the kids.
Amen.
So, dude, they're putting hats on me. I'm being serious right now. At the end of the day, I got a lot of people that told me not to do this, that it's gonna get bad for me. I don't care. I live for God. I don't live for anybody else. I'm gonna touch this really quick, really quick. The rules of satanic worship is it needs to be in your plain sight. That's all I'm gonna say. So everything that I'm saying is right in front of your face, and you're not doing anything about it. You're not doing anything about it. I'm screaming to the world, putting my reputation on the line. I got people wanting to cancel the fight. People telling me I need to go to a mental rehab to put me into the psych ward because I'm speaking the truth. Please help me and you help the children. You ask me what the next step is? I feel like we need to get together. Like we need to get together every time, drug. They're gonna keep doing this to children. That's what I will say. They blackmail each other so they can have a union where they won't snitch on each other. Think about that. They do horrible things together so they don't snitch against each other, and they're rich so they hold each other accountable. If you say something, I'm gonna say something, and everything comes down. Think about it.
Let them know about your foundation you want to start too.
And I'm starting my foundation, Save the Children. Also release the truth. Non-profit. I don't want anything. Have I asked for $1 from any of you guys? Have I made $1 from anything I'm saying? If anything, I've probably lost money.
It's crazy that you lost money for speaking the truth and trying to save children. What sane world do we live in?
It's insanity for telling the truth now in a world full of lies. Everybody went crazy when I said Bohemian Grove, and I'm not going to get into that. But it's the truth. And I'm hurt every day because they have tried everything in their power to stop me. And God pulled me through. As you see the rough 3 days I went through, but God brought me out of it. And you see how more clear I am and everything I'm saying. All I say is, look at my tweets. Is there one lie? Tweets. Is there one lie? Look it up for me. Somebody pull out the facts. How do I know this? Did they or did they not, hold up, come here. Did they or did they not let me in the Vatican?
They did.
Did they or didn't they not let me in the back room?
They did.
Did they or did they not show me all the stuff?
They did.
Wanted a meeting with me, can you show them?
All right, so this is on June 10th, 2023. One of BB's insiders asked to meet up with Ryan. He said, hey brother, good morning. I spoke with the Prime Minister BB. He would like to meet Ryan, period. And it's right here on text, y'all can see.
So and I'm not gonna get further into that. That's just proof. Now you have a little bit more proof of what I'm saying. They think I'm lying, but I'm totally not.
But let's get back to boxing.
Let's get back, okay.
Let's get back to this and how this is gonna shape your boxing, you know what I'm saying, your camp and give you the motivation.
You see Muhammad Ali, right? He standing up for something that was right. He felt like it wasn't right, and he went to jail for 3 years. I'm at the top of my career. I'm feeling the best at my game. I'm gonna fight Devin Haney, and I will beat him. And that fight is gonna come on. But this is a moment in time where we, the generation, we know the truth now. Yeah, and we can stand up for what's right. You hear the cries of the children. You hear them. I have babies. I have little kids out there. My own children. I can't imagine that happening. There is no clout that I get out of this. I was living fine. I was making great money. I'm still making great money, but I had a lot of things going on. The same way they came at Kanye. Kanye started telling the truth, and they made him take pills. I'm not gonna take no pills. You're not gonna see me touch no pill. I would love to go live with a person, one person, just one, who's went through what I went through. And don't even worry about this, because what the Illuminati and the elites do is they take what God did and make it theirs. That's something they do. So eyes have angels, bodies are covered with eyes. That supernatural ability to see everything, that's something God created. Your spiritual being, your spiritual self, your sense, that's something God created.
But let them know how this is gonna push you forward for the fight, man. Like how this is your motivation for this fight.
Ezekiel 10:12, I believe it is. Look it up if you don't believe me. Anything I say, just look it up. Just look it up. Ezekiel 10:12, please. Because everybody thinks this is a joke. It's like the movie Look Up. What's that movie, Look Up? With Leonardo DiCaprio, and he's screaming to the world, yo, the world is ending. There's an asteroid coming. Everybody's like, yo, let's take some pictures. Remember, like the times of Noah. I'm gonna speak this. Like the times of Noah, people will be drinking and people will be marrying and everything. Life will be this like normal. But God's calling up to his prophets and his people to speak of his return. So yeah, while you guys laugh and while you guys think this is a joke, why do you think Cat Williams is exposing the truth? Why do you think so much truth is coming out?
Hold on, let me just say something real quick though. Like, if anybody is upset that Ryan is trying to shed light, I think you are the one with the problem. I'm gonna just say that right now. And so with that being said, man, this whole camp is based on protecting the kids, saving the kids, and we're using that as motivation for this entire camp. So if you guys can't get behind that message, I think you need to look in the mirror because you need help.
They don't even know we've been training. You don't want, if I lift up my hood, you'll see a six-pack. I've been training. Amen. Shout out my coach, Sid, TNT.
TNT, baby.
TNT.
Let's go.
My whole team's behind me. If I show you my whole team, why do you think they're rocking with me? Why do you think they always, they never deny me? Remember, the times will be like Noah. There's stories of giants coming out, stories of aliens. Can you open your eyes once The proof is there. I mean, I just personally want to say that the proof is there.
Well, let's get some.
Okay, I would love to get some questions. How do we start up questions? Interact? How do we interact? Questions, quick ball, drawing us. Lightning Q&A, perfect. For money or love? Do you for money or love? When you're in a bad mood? I think just understanding that I'm on my way to fulfilling what God has for me. And no matter the bad times, I just let God's will be done, not mine. And that's how I do it. You know, I so wish I could tell you guys more.
As you heard for yourself, Ryan claims that he is doing all this for God. He claims he is not doing anything for clout, claiming he has nothing to gain from building up attention around himself right before he is preparing for a big boxing match hosted by the elite he is quote-unquote exposing. He states a prayer while he was on live, promising that all he is saying is the truth. He then goes on to claim he got the Masonic Eye of Horus tattoo on his hand because in the Bible it states that angels have many eyes. Even though he only tattooed one eye, which we know represents the Masonic all-seeing eye, it's also important to remember that Lucifer was an angel before he fell. Considering the fact that he has a serpent leading to his eye tattoo, we know exactly what it represents. The serpent leading him to enlightenment. I am confident Ryan Garcia is a Masonic puppet being used to represent the Antichrist. During his whole rant, he didn't name no one or call out the Freemasons at all. It's obvious Ryan is being used to represent the Antichrist. This to me is interesting because we have seen so much Antichrist imagery recently, and I believe they have something planned. In the Bible, it speaks of the Antichrist being a symbol of the end times, which is something I am looking into. I already know people aren't going to want to accept the truth, and to those I am speaking directly to you. Stop looking for a savior in Hollywood. He is not going to be there. You can find him in the Bible, and he died for your ability to live. I don't care if you get mad and unsub or call me controlled opposition, which I'm not. I stand by the fact that Ryan is not on our side. He is a deceiver. I will not allow Lucifer to use his puppets to deceive those who count on me to expose the truth. If Ryan was a threat, not only would there be no fight, but he would already been found gone. They would have said he did it to himself or he had an unknown injury due to his boxing. He wouldn't be here promoting his upcoming match. This is not something that he can just joke about and go about his day. If he were a problem, they would have solved it already. In another video that's floating around, Ryan can also be heard talking about how he conjured demons. Nobody that's a follower of Christ would be conjuring demons. He is just letting us know what side he is truly on.
They told me they're gonna make an example on me, that because I say Jesus so much, they're gonna put me on a cross and they're gonna crucify me in the whole world and say, "Yep, this is what we do. This is what we do." So please help me out. If that's what's supposed to happen, let God's will be done, not mine. I'm okay with that. And this is the truth. Have I lied about anything else? Nothing. So why would I lie about that?
The people in black robes, bro. I conjured up. No, I don't even want to tell you. No, this is deep. God asked me to do this. I'm gonna just do it. I conjured up demons. I did to tell them to fuck off, and they got angry. Come on, bro. It's real though. I know. You want me to show you? I'll turn off the lights right now and show you that it's real. Okay, bro. Is that too deep or what?
As you heard for yourself, Ryan claims that they told him to stop and that he has conjured up demons to tell him to F off. He is speaking in a deceitful way and he cannot be trusted. Ryan speaking about trafficking in the Bohemian Grove was nothing new for most of us. What he said, you can find with just a simple Google search. You don't have to do any research to find out anything he said. All he said was surface level knowledge, things that most of the world already knows. He did this to earn people's trust, just like the Antichrist is supposed to do. God gave me the eyes to see, and I see right through his deceit. Now, that being said, some of the things he mentioned is true. I literally just released a Patreon video showing real examples of people who were used for Masonic rituals when they were kids. I exposed real information that proves the occult uses children for rituals. I have shown plenty of times on this channel that people like Aleister Crowley taught sex magic, and it is what many of these people do. I made it clear the Freemasons are the ones behind all of this. They are the ones shaping the world to what it is today. They are the ones behind the very fight between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. A fight that even though Ryan claims to be exposing the elite, he is attending. Don't let this Antichrist fool you. See him for what he is, a deceiver. If people should learn anything from any of this, is that there's people who secretly control everything, and they are the Freemasons. Well, that's it for this video, but before you guys go, make sure you like, comment, and share this video so that it would be recommended to others. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.